Cats have a reputation for being mysterious, independent, and a little dramatic. But beneath that cool, unbothered exterior lives a creature with a long, detailed, and surprisingly accurate memory for every single thing you've done wrong. Most cat parents are making mistakes they don't even know about, quietly chipping away at the trust their cat has placed in them, and wondering why their cat suddenly treats them like a stranger who just walked in off the street. If you've ever had your cat stare at you from across the room with that specific look that says, "I remember what you did," then this video is for you. Number 11. The betrayal of the carrier. Your cat was perfectly happy before you appeared. They were lounging in the sun, maybe grooming themselves, probably judging you from a distance. And then you brought out the carrier. What happens next is something every cat parent knows all too well: the sudden disappearance act. Your cat, who was just right there, has now somehow teleported behind the washing machine or wedged themselves underneath the couch in a way that defies basic physics. Here's the thing though, cats are not being dramatic when they react to the carrier this way. Well, okay, they're a little dramatic, but there's real psychology behind it. Cats are creatures that depend heavily on their environment feeling safe and predictable. The carrier represents the destruction of that predictability. It means being scooped up, confined, transported, and most likely poked by a stranger who smells like other animals. From your cat's perspective, the carrier is not a travel accessory. It is a betrayal device. The mistake most cat parents make is only bringing the carrier out when it's time to go somewhere. So the carrier becomes a trigger, a warning sign that something unpleasant is about to happen. Research into feline stress responses has shown that cats form strong negative associations with specific objects when those objects are consistently paired with stressful experiences. Your cat isn't being stubborn. They've simply learned that the carrier equals chaos. The fix is surprisingly simple. Leave the carrier out all the time. Put a soft blanket inside it. Toss in some treats now and then. Let your cat investigate it on their own terms, without any agenda attached. Over time, the carrier stops being a threat and starts being just another piece of furniture they'll probably sleep in, and then refuse to get into when you actually need them to. Cats, you love them anyway. Number 10, staring them down. Direct eye contact feels completely natural to most humans. We are taught from childhood that eye contact shows confidence, respect, and engagement. But your cat did not grow up going to the same social skills workshops you did. And in the feline world, prolonged direct eye contact means something very different. In cat language, a hard, unblinking stare is essentially a declaration of a challenge. It's what cats do when they're sizing each other up before a confrontation. So when you lock eyes with your cat and hold that gaze because you think it's a sweet bonding moment, your cat is reading it as you squaring up for a fight. Now, this doesn't mean your cat is going to attack you because you looked at them during breakfast. Most cats who are bonded to their owners will tolerate eye contact and may even return it with a slow blink, which is actually one of the most affectionate things a cat can do. Researchers studying cat communication have found that slow blinking from a cat is a genuine signal of relaxation and trust. It's often called a cat kiss, which is adorable and also very useful information. But there's a difference between a relaxed glance and a full-on, unblinking, intense stare. If your cat is already feeling stressed or uncertain, being stared at can tip them from uneasy into genuinely threatened. Some cats will respond by leaving the room. Others will react with hissing or swatting. And some will just sit there, hating you silently, which honestly is the most cat response possible. Try this instead. Next time you're looking at your cat, slow blink at them deliberately. Close your eyes halfway, hold for a second, then open them again. If your cat slow blinks back, congratulations. You two just had a full conversation. That is the magic of understanding what your cat is actually trying to say. Number 9. Disrupting their routine. Cats are creatures of habit in the most serious way. Your cat knows exactly what time you wake up, what time you feed them, what time you sit on the couch, and what time the weird buzzing cleaning robot starts terrorizing the living room. They have mapped out the rhythms of your household in extraordinary detail, and they have built their sense of safety and stability around that map. So when you suddenly disrupt that routine, even for completely logical human reasons, your cat experiences it as a genuine destabilizing event. Think about something as simple as changing their feeding time by an hour. To you, this is barely noticeable. You got caught up with work, or you slept in on a weekend, or you forgot to set an alarm. But to your cat, the meal that was supposed to arrive at 7 in the morning did not arrive. And now the entire world is unpredictable and nothing can be trusted. They will let you know about this loudly. At 6:59, a study on domestic cat behavior found that cats living in stable, predictable environments showed significantly lower stress markers than cats whose daily routines were frequently disrupted. This makes total sense when you think about their wild ancestry. In nature, predictability is survival. Knowing when prey moves, knowing what's safe, knowing what to expect. These are the things that kept cats alive for thousands of years. Your cat's insistence on routine isn't a personality quirk. It is ancient survival programming running in a domestic setting. What this means practically is that consistency is one of the most loving things you can offer your cat. Feed them at the same time every day. Keep their litter box in the same place. Don't rearrange all the furniture on a Tuesday without warning. And if a change is coming, like a move or a new schedule, try to introduce it gradually so your cat's internal map has time to update itself rather than just suddenly crashing. Number 8. Bringing home a new pet without warning. You thought it would be fine. You thought your cat would adjust. You thought, maybe even hoped, that they might become best friends with the new puppy, or the new kitten, or the new rabbit that you impulsively adopted at the shelter on a Saturday afternoon. And your cat looked at the new arrival, looked back at you, and you could see it happening in real time. The trust leaving their eyes like air from a slowly deflating balloon. Introducing a new animal into your home without proper preparation is one of the most significant things you can do to damage your cat's sense of security. And the reason goes deeper than simple jealousy, although let's be honest, there is some jealousy involved. Cats are highly territorial animals. Their home is not just where they live. It is their carefully scent-marked, personally mapped, emotionally claimed domain. A new animal doesn't just mean a new roommate. It means an intruder has entered their territory and their trusted human brought it in through the front door. Feline behaviorists consistently emphasize that gradual introduction is not optional. It is essential. Research on multi-pet households has shown that rushed introductions between cats and the new animals significantly increase the likelihood of long-term aggression, chronic stress, and what behaviorists call redirected fear aggression, which is exactly what it sounds like and is nobody's ideal outcome. The process should involve scent swapping first. Let the animals get familiar with each other's smell through blankets or toys before they ever see each other face to face. Then visual introductions through a barrier. Then controlled, supervised meetings. This process takes time. It can take weeks. Your cat needs to feel like they still own their home, that nothing is being taken from them, and that you, their person, are still on their side. Because to them, that's exactly what's at stake. Number 7, ignoring their leave me alone signals. Cats are remarkably clear communicators once you learn the language. The problem is that most humans either don't know the language or choose to ignore it because the cat is being so cute right now, and surely they don't really mean it. They mean it. They always mean it. When your cat's tail starts flicking back and forth in quick, sharp movements, that is not excitement. When their skin ripples along their back, that is not a stretch. When their ears rotate flat or back against their head, that is not them being quirky. These are all clearly documented feline stress signals, and they are your cat's way of saying, in the most polite terms they can manage, please stop whatever you are currently doing to me. Ignoring these signals has real consequences. Cats who feel consistently unheard in their attempts to communicate discomfort will eventually stop giving warnings altogether. This is actually how a lot of seemingly unprovoked bites and scratches happen. The cat wasn't being random or aggressive. They had been sending signals for minutes that were being ignored, and eventually they ran out of polite options. Researchers studying feline aggression have noted that, in the majority of cases, what owners describe as a sudden attack was actually preceded by a clear sequence of warning signals that simply went unnoticed. The most loving thing you can do here is learn the language. Pay attention to your cat's tail, their ears, their skin, their breathing. If you're petting them and you see those signals, stop before they have to escalate. Let them walk away. Let them have the last word. That's honestly the key to a long and peaceful relationship with a cat, knowing when to stop. Number 6, the belly rub trap. This is a trap that has claimed thousands of unsuspecting cat parents. Your cat rolls over onto their back, stretching their paws out in the most irresistibly adorable display of fluffiness you have ever witnessed. Every instinct in your human brain screams, rub the belly. So you do. And then something changes very quickly. Here's what actually happened. When a cat exposes their belly, they are showing you an enormous amount of trust. The belly is the most vulnerable part of a cat's body, housing vital organs with very little protective covering. In the wild, exposing the belly is something a cat would only do in the safest possible circumstances. So when your cat rolls over near you, they are communicating deep comfort and security. They are not, however, necessarily sending an invitation. A lot of cats find direct belly contact overwhelming or even painful due to the high concentration of nerve endings in that area. What starts as trust and relaxation can flip into overstimulation extremely quickly, which is why your hand suddenly becomes something your cat needs to address with their teeth and back claws simultaneously. This is not aggression. This is your cat saying they were comfortable and you crossed a line they didn't know how to explain in advance. Some cats genuinely do love belly rubs, and if yours is one of them, cherish that gift. But if your cat has ever given you what the internet has very accurately termed the belly rub betrayal, learn from it. Appreciate the belly exposure for what it is, a sign of trust. Respond with a slow blink or a gentle chin scratch instead. Your hands will thank you. Number 5, loud noises and yelling. A cat's hearing is genuinely extraordinary. They can hear frequencies ranging from around 48 Hz all the way up to 85,000 Hz, which is significantly broader than human hearing and even beyond what most dogs can detect. What this means practically is that your cat is living in a version of your home that is considerably louder than the one you experience. Every door slam, every sudden burst of TV volume, every argument that seems completely normal in intensity to you, your cat is processing all of it at a magnified level. Yelling is particularly damaging to the human-cat relationship. And look, we get it. Life is stressful. Sometimes you're not yelling at the cat. You're just yelling in the general vicinity of the cat, which to the cat is not a meaningful distinction. Cats cannot understand the content of what you're saying. They cannot follow the logic of your frustration. What they experience is a sudden, loud, alarming sound coming from the person they depend on for safety, and that combination, the loudness plus the source, is genuinely frightening. Research into feline stress responses has consistently shown that cats living in households with frequent loud noise exposure develop chronic stress symptoms, including overgrooming, hiding, changes in appetite, and litter box avoidance. These are not behavioral problems in the sense that the cat is doing something wrong. These are trauma responses. The cat is coping with an environment that doesn't feel safe. This doesn't mean you have to tiptoe around your house in permanent silence, but being mindful of volume around your cat, never directing raised voices at them, and creating a quiet retreat space where they can decompress when the world gets loud. These things matter enormously to their emotional well-being. Your cat is not being sensitive. They are just built differently than you. Number 4, picking them up at the wrong moment. There is a correct time to pick up your cat, and there is every other time. Your cat knows the difference, even if you don't, and they will communicate it to you through a combination of body stiffness, tail lashing, and the specific kind of dead weight that cats are somehow able to produce on command when they don't want to be moved. The wrong moment to pick up a cat includes while they are eating, while they are using the litter box, while they are in the middle of grooming, while they are sleeping, while they are clearly watching something outside the window that they have decided is their entire reason for existing right now, and while they are simply sitting there, having decided that sitting there is what they are doing. The wrong moment is, in other words, quite broad. Cats that are repeatedly picked up at wrong moments begin to associate being picked up with the unpleasant sensation of having their autonomy overridden. Over time, even a cat who was completely comfortable being held as a kitten can become a cat who absolutely will not tolerate it as an adult. And this is a direct result of that trust being eroded one poorly timed grab at a time. Researchers studying cat-human attachment have noted that cats who feel in control of their physical interactions with owners show significantly stronger bonding behaviors overall. The rule is simple. Let your cat come to you when possible. When you do need to pick them up, approach calmly, let them see you coming, and scoop them properly with one hand supporting their chest and the other supporting their hind legs. Never dangle, never flip them upside down, no matter how adorable that sounds in theory. And if they want down, let them down. Respect is the whole game here. Number 3, the unwanted bath. Let's talk about the bath. Most cats are fastidiously self-cleaning animals. They spend an enormous portion of their waking hours grooming themselves to a standard that, frankly, most humans couldn't match even with hot water and a full set of shower products. So the experience of being plunged into a tub of water by their beloved human is, from the cat's perspective, an absolute violation of everything they stand for. Now, there are situations where a bath is genuinely necessary. If your cat has gotten into something toxic or has a medical condition that requires it, then yes, the bath must happen, and both of you will survive it. But the cats who are being bathed simply because their owner decided it seemed like a good idea on a Sunday, or because they smelled a little off, are cats who are experiencing a completely avoidable trauma. Here's what happens physiologically when a cat is forcibly bathed. Their heart rate spikes, their stress hormones surge. They enter a fear response that, depending on the cat, can range from frantic struggling to a terrified stillness that looks like cooperation, but is actually a freeze response. The same stress reaction documented in animals experiencing genuine threat. A study examining cortisol levels in cats following stressful handling found that bathing was among the highest stress procedures owners regularly subjected their cats to, often exceeding the stress response of a brief veterinary examination. If your cat needs to be cleaned, spot cleaning with a damp cloth is often sufficient. There are also waterless cat shampoos that work reasonably well without the full submersion experience. And if a full bath is unavoidable, go slowly, use warm water, keep your voice calm, and have a warm towel ready immediately after. Your cat will still be upset, but they will also eventually forgive you. Probably by dinner time. Cats are like that. Number 2, forcing them to meet strangers. Picture this familiar scenario. You have guests coming over for the first time. You're excited. Your cat has been warned approximately 0 times. The doorbell rings. People flood in with their unfamiliar voices and unfamiliar smells and unfamiliar energy. And you, wanting to show off your beautiful cat, immediately go and find them and carry them into the room full of strangers. Your cat's face at that moment is a picture worth studying. Cats rely on scent more than almost any other sense to establish safety and trust. Every person your cat knows and is comfortable with has a specific familiar scent profile that your cat has cataloged and approved. A stranger walking into their space brings an entirely unrecognized scent signature, which in cat terms registers as an unknown entity that has not yet been vetted. This is not shyness and it is not unfriendliness. It is your cat's security system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Forcing a cat into social contact before they have decided they are ready doesn't speed up the process. It actually slows it down significantly. Research on feline socialization has shown that cats who are allowed to approach new people at their own pace form positive associations with those people far more quickly than cats who are forced into contact. The cat needs to feel that the choice is theirs. The moment you remove that choice, you've undermined the entire process. When you have guests, let your cat decide whether to engage. Give them an exit. Give them a high shelf or a back room where they can observe from a distance and process things at their own speed. Tell your guests not to chase the cat, not to lunge forward with outstretched hands, and not to take it personally if the cat spends the entire visit behind the refrigerator. That is the cat doing exactly what they need to do. Respect it. Number 1, breaking their trust through punishment. Here is the most important thing you will hear in this entire video, and it is worth really sitting with. Punishment does not work on cats. Not because cats are stubborn or impossible or untrainable, although they do have strong opinions, but because of the way their brains are actually wired to process cause and effect. Cats live almost entirely in the present moment. They are not capable of connecting a punishment that happens now with a behavior that occurred even 30 seconds ago, let alone something that happened while you were at work. What this means is that every time a cat parent squirts their cat with a water bottle for something they did earlier, or raises their voice, or physically pushes them away in frustration, the cat does not think, I did something wrong, and this is the consequence. The cat thinks, my human is suddenly doing something frightening, and I don't know why. The behavior that caused the reaction isn't linked in their mind. The only thing that gets learned is that you, the person they trust most, have become unpredictable and potentially threatening. This has a compounding effect over time. A cat who is regularly punished begins to show chronic stress behaviors, hiding more, grooming excessively, becoming either withdrawn or more reactive, and losing the kind of relaxed, trusting body language that marks a truly bonded cat-human relationship. A landmark study on cat-human bonding, published in the journal Animal Cognition, found that cats are acutely sensitive to negative human emotional signals and will adjust their behavior around an owner they perceive as a threat, not through learning, but through fear. That distinction matters enormously. The alternative isn't permissiveness, it's redirection. If your cat is scratching the furniture, give them a better option and make that option more appealing. If they're jumping on counters, figure out why and address the root cause. If they're doing something dangerous, remove the danger rather than punishing the curiosity. Cats respond beautifully to positive reinforcement, treats, praise, play, because these things speak directly to their instincts. Punishment speaks to nothing except their fear response. Your cat's trust is not a given. It is something they offer you carefully over time, based on accumulated evidence that you are a safe and reliable presence in their world. Every act of unexplained punishment chips away at that evidence. And unlike humans, who might eventually rationalize their way back to forgiveness, cats simply update their internal model of who you are. They don't hold grudges in the way we imagine, but they do remember. They remember what you feel like. They remember whether you felt safe. And they make their decisions about how close to let you into their world based entirely on that. So the next time your cat does something frustrating, and they will because they're cats and that's part of the deal, take a breath. Redirect. Reinforce the good stuff. Protect the trust. Because once you have a cat who fully, genuinely trusts you, who slow blinks at you from across the room and chooses your lap out of every available surface in the entire house, you will understand that it was worth every bit of patience it took to get there. Cats may never say thank you in a language you can hear, but they show it in 100 quiet ways every single day. Understanding them a little better is how you earn the slow blink, the headbutt, the purr at 2 in the morning that you secretly don't mind at all.